wild.
Yeah, that's a big convict right there.
You're just gonna fillet this sucker right off the bone.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fish Out Northwest. Waiting on Tommy Donlin.
This is what you call a bait stop.
Hello and welcome to Fish Out Northwest. Wayne England coming to you from the Fish Out Northwest studios here in Olympia, Washington. Yes, flying solo this evening. My buddy Tommy, co-host here at Fish Out Northwest, is taking a little under the weather. So opted to tell him, just to go ahead and stay on home, buddy. No, I'm going to miss him. He had a great bait lab lined up for tonight. But you know what? We'll get to it next week. We still got plenty of time. So I want to welcome everybody to the show. So glad you could join me this evening. We've got a really packed show here. Lots of info as we do each and every week to get through. Some great guests lined up and topics, of course. So if it's the first time you are joining us here on Root Sports, I want to thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and check out all our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, so you never miss any of our content that we load up over there. Check us out on Twitter and, of course, Instagram. Follow us. And also, easiest way to find your way to all of those locations, simply go to our webpage, www.fishhuntnw.com. There you're also going to find a couple of coupons for reduced pricing and savings. FHN 20 coupon with Edge Rods. FHN has teamed up with Edge Rods. You're going to save 20% on all rods all the time. Simply utilize the code at checkout if it's not already assigned to another reduced pricing. And of course, Phelps game calls. For the remainder of the year, Fish Hunt NW10, you'll get 10% off all calls, all Phelps game calls all the time. So I want to, again, welcome everybody to the show. We got a number of things to get to and through. Hey, if you didn't catch our post there on Facebook, did you put in for your multi-season tag? And if so, did you get awarded anything? I, once again, as per usual, got nothing. Although a couple years ago I did get my multi-season deer. But I'm at 7 or 8 points now for elk multi-season. Have yet to be drawn for that. A lot of you weighed in on our webpage as to whether you were successful or not. Now, if you did get awarded your multi-season deer or elk, you get to make a decision. You get to decide whether or not you're going to actually use it and or purchase that tag. You have to turn in your previously purchased and weapon of choice tag or license that you purchased, turn that back in and purchase that multi-season. I tell you, on deer, for example, what it's going to do, you're going to get about 120 to 130 days of opportunity. It's almost 4 months of deer hunting through the season, September through December, east and west side, 3 different options as far as your weapon of choice. Really some good options for you to get out there and kind of decide, if you want to just, here's the deal. You decide you're going to take up archery hunting for the first year and you go out and you struggle and it's not too fulfilling. With the multi-season, at least you have the rifle opportunity to back up your plan, or vice versa, or you take up muzzleloader for the first season. You got those other options built in, and I just think it's a really good opportunity. If you're awarded the multi-season, I would purchase that thing and give it a go. Try another weapon choice if you choose, and try something new. Can't hurt to learn a new skill. All right, running down the show, we got a good one, as I mentioned. Bill Monroe Jr., Bill Monroe Outdoors, early season, Springer season recap. Wasn't really as tough as it appeared. Going to get the word from Bill. Then also, second segment with him because we have too much info to get through. Oregon Coast and ocean opportunities, the Lower Columbia, Buoy 10, and what is going on here with the regulations they're putting forth. Also, we'll have an update on the Kids Trout Derby. Do we, in fact, have a Kids Trout Pond here at the facility at the Summit Lake Community Center? Well, we'll host the Derby. And I want to get you the updates on the La Push Lingcod Derby coming up on April 22nd as well. Then, believe it or not, as I mentioned last week, we did get out on the river chasing the elusive Springer. Buddy Matt Messing was able to go ahead and put together a short video of our outing with buddies JJ Dial and Chris Ward. So yeah, we're going to take a look at that this evening, and you'll see how did we do out there for one day of springer fishing. And then we'll close it out. You know, we have some call outs for some assistance, volunteer or otherwise. The Samish Hatchery needs help clipping fish. If you've never clipped fingerlings, this is an opportunity for you. So lots to get through. Great guests lined up. Lots of phenomenal content. Appreciate everybody signing on here. I'll try to answer as much as I can this evening with the texting. Go ahead and get your questions on here as we get through the show, and we'll see if we can't get them answered. All right, going to jump out for a quick break. We come back, buddy Bill Monroe Jr., and we're talking springers. Next segment right here, Fish Out Northwest.
Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new and best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine is a boat dealer who proudly sells Defiance, Allied, and Arima boats. All boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Defiance Marine has all your boating needs to help you get out on the water.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
For more than 90 years, you've entrusted one brand to guide you toward living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Now you can entrust affiliated Better Homes and Gardens real estate professionals to interpret your needs and help you find the home in which to live your dreams through every stage of your home buying or selling process. And through every stage of your life, there's Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Expect better.
All right, welcome back here in studio to Win England Fish Out Northwest. Flying solo, but no big deal. Shortly here, well, right now, let's do it. Let's get joined by buddy Bill Monroe Jr. Bill Monroe Outdoors has taken time this evening out of his busy schedule to talk what's on the minds of many and the frustration of several. Spring Chinook, Columbia River. How you doing, man?
Oh, good afternoon. Let me tell you, you just hit the understatement right there. Understatement.
Yeah, well, let me tell you.
Springer
season, the grind, as I call it. Look, we had a lot of optimism going into this season with a forecast of 317,000 fish that was thrown out there on the table. Now the Columbia is closed. How would you summarize the first leg of the tour, so to speak? How did we do out there?
Whew, man, what a tough go of it this so far. Boy, how do I sum this up? Difficult. It felt like this whole spring opportunity for the first session of, we call these early Spring Chinook opportunity, this March into somewhat April, it felt like winter.
Yeah.
This was more winter than like the early January sturgeon season up in the gorge of Hood River.
Yeah.
And that was brutal. This was more brutal than that.
It was cold.
It was just crazy.
Let me put it this way.
It was cold. It was snowing in April, all the way through March, all the way through April. Mm-hmm. It was just one thing after another. And quite frankly, Dwayne, I've never seen the amount of smelt that we saw in the river. WDFW forecasted like 3 million pounds or so. They do it by pounds.
Right.
And I think that by the time that they had forecasted that, and then it was too late for the Cowlitz to have an opener, they were already estimating there being like upwards of 12 to 15 million pounds in the river.
Yeah, look
And
how much
that's more
opportunity we lost out
that
on right there. Yeah.
yeah, that is more smelt than I think we were even expecting. There was smelt from Astoria all the way up to Bonneville Dam. So we haven't seen smelt up in Bonneville Dam or up Tanner Creek in about a 45-year time span,
How about
which
that?
is a good news, but it was bad news. All these spring Chinook and everything, they follow the smelt.
Right?
Well, when the smelt are this numerous,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have all this food,
Yep.
and then there's sea lions all over the place gorging themselves, which was happening.
Right.
We had on our hands one of the hardest spring Chinook sessions I can ever remember.
Well, you mentioned a number of things there. Look, nasty cold weather, cold water
Yeah,
temps, smelt numbers, the numbers of
yeah,
pinnipeds that followed in the smelt and now are on the heels of the springers.
boy.
Couldn't be more difficult. It's as if we got this amazing opportunity, 317,000 spring Chinook on the table, and Mother Nature says, "Hold my beer, because I'm going
Yeah.
to deal you all this stuff."
Hold on a
Right?
minute. Hold on a minute. We're an easy 3 weeks behind. We're going to be 3 weeks late. And by the way, I'm not going to let fish go over Bonneville Dam for a very long
Yeah.
time because the water's super cold. They've got a lot of food and opportunity out in the ocean all the way up
Mm-hmm.
to Bonneville Dam. Yeah, it's just one thing after another. And that's what made fishing really, really difficult, or catching, I should say. The fishing was great.
Sure.
I had two heaters in the boat.
All right.
I love the area that I was in. I've been going, to the lower sections now for a handful of years. This is my
Mm-hmm.
fifth, and I think,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love it. It's worth driving every morning 2 hours and then home every day 2
Oh
hours.
man.
It's what I do.
So the fish
It's,
that you did catch,
yes,
kind of put it
yeah,
in perspective. Like, you caught a handful of fish, some you kept. You put a nice post up this evening, kind of broke it
yep, I
down for
did.
everybody. Those ones
Right,
that you're
right.
able to actually get into the boat and retain, anything different from your normal program, or just by chance finally getting the right bait in front of one, and instead of them taking a smelt, they took a herring?
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Number two.
Yeah.
Number two. And when you cut every fish that I laid into and cut open, or they cut open, because I like to always recommend taking fish home whole because they're so valuable. They're
Sure.
just precious.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was stuffed full of smelt.
Yeah.
One of them had 18, the other one had 12, and most of them had like anywhere from 6 to 8.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
That's crazy to me. You just don't see that every year. It's unique. It's very
So,
unique, and it's a good sign.
do you know what the number is that they'll be looking for to get over Bonneville for them to consider a reopener? Will we see an opportunity in May before we actually just go right into our June opportunity?
I think that's the whole key right there. We're going to get into this. We're going to get some. They want to get some escapement over Bonneville. That was made very clear,
Right.
and it makes sense. Even to me, Dwayne, I'm like, we should get some fish over the dam. That's great. We
Sure.
got these early ones. Not very many of them, but we got them, and we had a good time being out there, and that's one thing. Now we get some fish over the dam. The mid-run update will be done probably. It's always timed for middle of May sometime, and once that gets done, they're going to be like, whoa, and that we're going to see like maybe 5, 8. We're going to see 10 days probably of like 5K
A day.
or 10K over the dam at
Right.
once, because that's
Right.
what springers do. They
Sure.
just, boom, all of a sudden they're here and it's time to go.
So we're going
And
to
they're
look
not,
forward to an opportunity in May.
yeah,
Hopefully we don't have to wait till that June option.
I,
Okay,
I,
we're gonna
I
we're gonna
think
jump
so.
out for a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna finish up with a little bit of Springer talk here, but we're also gonna jump into some of the options coming to the coastal region, the ocean
Oh,
fisheries,
yes.
and some questions for you to answer as it relates to Buoy 10 and some of the regs they're
Yeah.
throwing around. So we'll get to that. Don't go anywhere.
All right.
Jump out for a quick break. We'll be back right here with Bill Monroe Jr. right after this.
Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
welcome back here at Fish on Northwest. In studio, Dwayne England guest Bill Monroe Jr. talking springers and, of course, coastal salmon opportunities. Now, as we shift the conversation, Bill, hey, I want to remind you, though, real quick, I was slated to come jump in the boat for a day with the boys at Hatchery and Wild, and we got canceled due to weather. So all that weather talk you were throwing out there.
I know.
Yeah, very disappointed. I'm sure I was more disappointed than you.
I was bummed because you guys are all so close. Like, that's a big day for me. And when I saw what was coming and 40-mile-per-hour winds mixed with snow showers, I was just blown away. It's like, dude, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
It was going to be a tough day if we decided to go out after it, no doubt about it. So
it would have been.
All right. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the Oregon coast salmon opportunities. How does the season outlook for the coastal and the ocean opportunities out of Oregon look coming out of NOF?
The NOF process, North of Falcon combined with, PFMC and Pacific Salmon Treaty talks and then regulations with Canada, it's complicated. And I've been saying that for years. And this is that whole, remember, Thule's are a hot mess. That's even another hot topic right there. But the ocean is going to, for like Cape Falcon up to Ledbetter, Marine Zone 1 for Washington is what we're kind of getting at. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's going to be a pretty good opportunity. We've got 80,000 or so coho, fin clip coho we can get. We've got 11,500-ish Chinook.
Yeah.
I don't know if the ocean will make it through for Chinook through like Labor Day, but boy, we're sure going to try. Because that big deal is Buoy 10 is going to have some real big, it's going to have like a hard stop inside the river for the first time in quite a while. And we're going like August 21st to 23rd. It's stopped. The ocean's going to have pressure, or Longview is going to have pressure.
So
and then again,
we're basically we're shifting the effort. You're mentioning those closures. I mean, my question is, when we look at that ocean opportunity there, and you mentioned it, you got, just right at 80,000 hatchery coho up against 11,500 Chinook. Can we get all those Chinook? Will that shut down the fishery, or will the abundance of coho? Will we, we can't possibly catch that many coho in that amount of time, or can we? I mean, look how many Thule's we got last year in a 3-day opportunity when it went wide open.
They smoked it. It was smoked hard. Yeah. Yes.
The other one, the Cape Falcon border. So looking down there through August 31st, you have 110,000 adipose fin clipped coho or hatchery coho.
Yep.
Can anglers catch 110,000 coho, or will it get through that full season before you see a closure?
That probably won't happen. I mean, it might, but there's also going to be non-mark select opportunity for coho down there as well. So wild coho retention in that South fishery as well. So that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Now the Chinook opportunity for, let's say, even go into like the North coastal areas, they're going to have some limited opportunity, but not much for Chinook. Yeah. And that's going to be kind of a big squeeze for that southern area to not have a Chinook fishery on the ocean. That really does suck. There's going to be bubbles, though. You look at like Tillamook Bay, that will probably have a bubble to it, which is a good thing. And that provides some opportunity, spread some people out. And Tillamook Bay is going to have a fishery, get pressure off of like Siletz or, Nehalem will have a wild coho fishery inside the bay again. That's kind of a big deal. That's a good sign that things look better.
Yeah, promising. Ocean conditions and all favorable. Yeah. I mean, you don't get that many smelt back without ocean conditions being favorable as well.
Oh, my gosh. So let me tell you.
You kind of mentioned it, and before we get out of here, I want to make sure we revisit this. Now, we're talking about those scheduled closures amongst the Buoy 10 fishery, 3-day closures on marked dates. And the problem is ocean is open above that area, above Tongue Point, up there, Longview area, Kalama, Cowlitz, all that remains open.
And that's kind of we're shifting effort to those zones.
Right.
And we actually made it really clear that once you do a hard stop in Astoria and all the people are there fishing in Buoy 10, everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
You do a hard stop, they're out. they are going to go up where the Chinook will be able to be retained again. And that will be I actually personally think that the Cowlitz Longview Kalama zone is more capable of herding tules than Buoy 10.
Yeah,
but
we
they
could
didn't want to
really
hear
put the
that.
herd on those tules in there for sure, because that's where they're heading back.
Huge. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Those are
Yeah.
home waters for those fish.
Right.
And they're going to be in those areas.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't put some tools in the tool shed to be able to shift effort, maybe up above that Reed Island, Washougal area, up to Bonneville Dam again.
Right.
They did, even though they did it last year as a safety measure, because no tules have ever been tagged above Washougal.
Sure.
But they didn't like that very much, and they were going to stick to their guns, and PFMC was going to stick to their guns and not move ER inside the river, which should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But who am I to say that should have happened? That's a real tough gig to get ocean people to agree. Now, it's another real quick about ocean.
Yeah.
That Long Beach closure that happened last year, I don't know if you remember, you couldn't fish the Long Beach Peninsula, the whole edge of it up to a certain, there was lines of demarcation set by GPS coordinates. I'm willing to bet that NOAA Federal Fisheries will probably go ahead and do that again. They didn't say that they would, but they made hint that they will enact ocean enforcement. So if it happens, don't be surprised. That's where all the Chinook like to go and hold and hang out. It's like a little nightclub for Chinook. They just hang out there. That's what they do. That's what they do.
We never have enough time to get through all the info. I'll tell you what we're going to have to do. As we get closer to these fall fisheries, we're going to have a serious discussion on tules this year going into it, because we want to make sure we educate everybody on those openings, those closings, where the pressure is going to be, and we don't want to find ourselves in the same situation as last year and tremendous overharvest on those tules. So always good to hear from you, buddy, and I appreciate you taking time.
Well, it's good to talk to you guys for sure. I look forward to all of it. Yep.
Fantastic. We'll reconvene at a later date. All right, Bill Monroe Jr., folks. Yep, have a good night. Always a wealth of information, and always like to get him on the show because he brings it for you guys to understand. All right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. Couple points of interest, need to get you caught up on some derby information and more right here, Fish Hunt Northwest.
Sportco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
McCombie's Custom Lures are made in the Northwest for salmon, steelhead, lake trout, and kokanee. Our products come in a variety of sizes and colors to help you catch more fish. Find our products in stores or at McCombie'sCustomLures.com.
Yep, for sure.
Oh yeah. Big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
We're going to show you how to make fishing reels.
All right, welcome back here in studio, Dwayne England, Fish Hunt Northwest, and a couple points of interest. Yep, I want to remind you guys again because it's going to be here before we know it, and I want to see you get the kids out here fishing. The third annual Fish Hunt Northwest Summit Lake Community Center annual Kids Trout Derby for kids 14 and under, and working with Mission Outdoors. Now, not only are Ryan Elwell and gang bring in the meat wagon, going to have the smoker going and provide all the food, breakfast and lunch and everything we need, drinks, the whole deal for the event. But they have also provided the above ground small pool that we're utilizing as the kids' trout pond. on the phone today with WDFW. We're getting 250 trout put in this 6x10. It's about an 850-gallon pool or pond for the little fellas and little girls to come out with your parents, grandparents, show up here at the event. 5 and under, we're going to put it at 5 and under, get to fish the kids' pond if they can't get out on the lake in a boat or something like that. So hats off to Mission Outdoors, WDFW. We're going to get that thing filled with 250 trout, and so the kids that get to fish the pond, 5 and under, if they choose not to go out on the lake, are going to also have a great opportunity to win some prizes. We got a host of sponsoring companies that are jumping on board. We'll spill those out here as the weeks continue. Tons of prizes and places. Every kid's getting a raffle ticket, a free t-shirt, FHN and Summit Lake Community Fishing Derby t-shirt. Every kid goes away with raffle ticket and t-shirt. So you have chances to win if you don't catch fish to enter into the Derby. If you're a business and would like to help and assist, go ahead and hit us up either on our email over at fishuntnw@gmail, or simply message us up on Facebook and help out with this. It's all about the kids that day. We're hoping for a couple hundred kids to come on out with parents and families, enjoy the day. The weather's usually pretty nice. That's why we do it the 3rd week of May, to try and ensure that we are going to have a successful outing. So looking forward to that. Also coming up, you still have time, the La Push Lingcod Derby, sponsored by Fish Hunt Northwest and put on by Mission Outdoors. La Push Lingcod Derby. Go to www.missionoutdoors.org and find out all the information. Sign up your boat. Captains, get your boat signed up. Leave room to add 1 veteran to your team, because that's really what it's all about. Mission Outdoors and the veterans for the Lingcod Derby. All right, it's going to do it for us. First half of the show here on Root Sports. Great second half coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the second half of the show right after this break, right here, Fish Hunt Northwest. Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
Hey guys, I'm Big Mike. Come on down to the Edge Pro Shop and see me. We've got all the best brands under one roof. We've got Hawken, Procure, Short Bass, Pro Troll, Yakima Bait, Get 'em Dry Jigs, Northwest Bait Scent, Daiwa Reels, North Fork Lures, North Wild, Brad's, Superfly, Rocky Mountain Tackle, and of course, the greatest rods ever built, Edge Rods.
All right, welcome back here in studio, Dwayne England, Fish Hunt Northwest, and got a little video spooled up here for this evening. Yes, last week or so, me and JJ Dial, Chris Ward, and of course, buddy Matt Messing behind the camera doing what he does now, alongside of his charter business, of course. We hit the Columbia, and all those conditions Bill spoke of. One day to go down there and try to scratch out a springer and see what we could, muster up. So Matt did a great job filming and editing this piece together, so we're going to bring that to you right now. Hey guys, Dwayne England, Fish on Northwest, and we are out here gonna go chase the elusive Springer, fellas. Huh?
Exciting.
You got JJ and Chris with us. Matt's behind the camera. Gonna be a phenomenal day. Weather doesn't look too bad. A little different than what the forecast showed, but I guess we'll see what we get.
It looks good today compared to before, that's for sure.
Got it. So hopefully the wind stays down. We're gonna run down river, go find us some Springers. Let's go. Down on the deck, we're running one 360 flasher, Brad's 360 flasher with a anchovy and a helmet on a short leader, 30-inch. Lots of whip, lots of action. We're marking some, very few, but we're marking a few suspended fish. So I think our chances are pretty good. Now you can use a small miter box if you want, if you're not confident in getting a good cut on a herring and getting a good spin, because it's all about the spin. So, but we're just gonna come 45-45. Put a nice cut on there, get some guts out. Okay, now I'll take my hooks, got my 4/0 and my 3/0. Take the 3/0, I come into the low side here, poke it through. I like to put my thumb over that so that you keep from tearing too much meat as you pop that through. Then we're gonna come low side, out the high side. It comes across the backbone, which gives it a really good anchor point, okay? So once that's anchored and your pole point is on your high side, even though you enter the low side, but you cross the backbone so it doesn't just rip out of the flesh. It's gonna hold a lot better. Notice the distance of that trailer hook right at the tail for them short biters. Let's drop it in the water and see how we spin. So remember, bait, flasher, weight. In that order, and it won't get spun up. So we got a pretty good spin on there. You see that flash in the water. Rotation on the flasher. So our speed's good. So we're gonna let it down. And now we're gonna drop this down. I'm pulling a couple feet at a time, because if you let it go too fast, that weight's gonna go down extremely fast and all the gear is gonna elevate and spin up on itself. So to prevent tangles, we like to pull it out a couple feet at a time. We hit bottom, lift it up, contact bottom, pull another one. Make sure you're right down there off bottom. Maybe come up a half a crank, one crank, pop it in the rod holder. Got him?
I see swimming right to the boat.
Oop, I'll get the net. JJ, you got the boat? Yep. You get behind you, Chris.
Ready?
I am now.
Oh, I don't think he's done yet.
Yeah. Watch that line in front of you.
Ready? Here he comes, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Oh, he's barely hooked, Dwayne.
Yeah. Lift. Lift.
Woohoo! Fin or no fin?
Hatchery fish.
Nice.
Let's see, double check. Yep. Come on board.
Let me get my lead.
Yeah, dandy.
Let me put him out of his misery.
Yep. Here, I'll get him. Hold your rod, hold your lead.
Got it. Fellas, we're having Springer for dinner tonight.
Hey, come on now.
Thanks for doing what I asked you to
There we go.
Turn my light off.
You got the boat, JJ?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
You put a blinky on.
I did. And they got that little spinner above the hooks, too.
Yeah. That was a change out that paid off for sure.
Shortened up my leader.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Hold that bad boy.
Let me get this off to the
Get a
side.
bleed bucket. There you go. Look at that thing. Nice job, Chris.
Nice.
It's a beauty. We'll get some pictures with you, buddy. Nice work. Let me get a bleed bucket real quick and we'll keep changing until something happens.
Nice little hatchery fish. She'll eat.
All right, late in the day, Chris. We need one more fish, man.
That's it, one more.
I think we're giving it one more pass. This wind's picking up pretty good, so we're gonna get the gear down. All right, running a red label in a helmet. Got a bunch of tuna stuffed into my Max triangle flasher. That's gotta work. I got confidence in this. Chartreuse and red, flash, good spin, it's all there. Let's get one more. Bottom. Perfect. All right, boys. Well, that's about a wrap, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not a terrible day.
Well, multiple drags downriver all day, fighting the wind, fighting the weather. A little cold this morning, 30 degrees, warmed up to a real nice balmy 40. And here we are. Chris, nice job on the token Springer, and look what we got. I mean, this thing is puking up smelt. And yet, those were literally in the throat of this fish when we looked down the throat, and yet it still took that herring that you put out there. So these buggers are here to eat, apparently. Anyway, not a bad day. One Springer in the boat, one drive-by potentially when the other rod got rocked there. So we'll be back. We got a few more days left in the season. They've extended it, so we're gonna hope to get a little better weather. The water temperature right now is 48.9, almost 49 degrees, which is really kind of right there. Things start cranking up. So
It's a grind. You just got to put the time in.
that's a good point.
It's a grind out here.
It is a grind, and there was a lot of boats today. Very few fish caught, but that's Springer fishing. There's a chance of snow. It's because it's Springer fishing. All right, that's going to do it for us out here on the water. Great day nonetheless. We'll see you back in studio right after this. All right, well, there you go. A little look into some of Buddy Matt Messing's work, both on the camera, behind the camera, and of course in the editing room. I think he did a great job capturing that day in the difficult conditions. Hey man, that's a day of Springer fishing, and you know, you got to kind of manage your expectations. You go down there for one day, get a few reports here and there, but you know, you just got to get out there, get the bait in the water, just grind it out, see if you can't scratch one out here and there. We had another drive-by on that Brad's Mini Cut Plug, which I really thought would have stuck, but apparently didn't. So, you know, in those conditions with the number of boats we had down there and how many folks I talked to, having two opportunities kind of, and at least putting one in the bleed bucket for the day, pretty good outing. Nice job, Chris Ward, on your gear change up. And really, that's what we continued to do, was change gear, change flasher colors, change 360s to inline rotators, different sizes, different colors, different bait presentation, and just keep changing it up till you finally find something that hopefully entices them. And you know, if you guys were here with us earlier and had Bill Monroe Jr. on, sometimes it's just a matter of getting that herring or that anchovy in front of that doggone fish that isn't surrounded by a bunch of smelt right at the time. So it is what it is. Tough season. Columbia is closed down now. Jump over to the Willamette, though it's gotten kind of dirty here with all this rain as of late. Probably clear up here in the next week or two. And of course, you know, look forward to that reopening as we move farther into the end of April, more so in May. Get that mid-May look at number of fish over Bonneville. Hopefully we see a reopener before we already have the scheduled opener coming in June for our June fishery. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know we did, albeit cold and whatnot, but it was always a good day to get out chasing spring Chinook. And we still have plenty more season to go, not to mention we still got to get into the tributary fishing. That's where I really get excited. We start putting eggs under bobbers and going after spring Chinook. That is something to look forward to. So, all right, we are going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. A few things to talk about, a few events going on. Unfortunately, a lot of them are on the same day, but we're going to get you the info nonetheless. Don't go anywhere. Jump out for a quick break. We'll be right back here, Fish on Northwest.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best glass boat your money can buy.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company could build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
All right, welcome back here in studio as we kind of wind down the show. Got a number of things I want to recap with everyone just to make sure we don't miss any of the events coming up. First of all, kind of something a little bit in need here. Assistance needed at the Samish Hatchery for mass clipping. Now, we all advocate to get more hatchery fish in the water, and we have all these Chinook, smolt, and some coho and what have you. Some of these various hatcheries, at times they need help because of low staffing, and you actually have a couple options with this program here. You can do strictly volunteer. So the Samish Hatchery mass clipping. So let me back up here. The clipping starts on April 24th to work the 2 manual trailers at the hatchery location. They'll be working double shifts Monday through Friday for about 8 weeks, and the morning shift starts at 7 a.m. Now, if you can do that on a volunteer basis on days that you're available to go assist, you can simply contact the Samish Hatchery directly, and the phone number is 360-724-3131. Or if you are actually looking for part-time work, seasonal work or part-time work, contact Kelly Services at www.mykelly.com, and talk to them about getting on board to go from hatchery to hatchery and assist in clipping these fry or fingerling, actually, of all species of salmon, and during the time of year when they need the help. Because there's a window here where they can actually clip fish based on water temperatures, growth rate, and all of that. There's a science behind this. You don't just have all year to clip these fish. It has to be done within certain windows of time. Now, as far as like getting on board here with the Samish Hatchery or jumping on board with Kelly Services, if you're looking for work, part-time work, what have you, no experience needed, $17.75 an hour to start with. Seasonal positions, day and swing shifts available. Typically, a day of work is clipping the fins off a fingerling at the hatchery, conducting quality control checks, and trailer setup and transfer. They do move the trailers around from facility to facility because there's only a handful of trailers that they can actually do this type of work. So I've talked to folks, college students, senior adults looking for something to do to occupy their time. Yeah, Pops, I'm talking to you. I mean, you could sit at a trailer and clip fish, you know. Actually, you and Mom could both get out there and probably enjoy a day clipping fish. Anyway, transfer the fish from ponds to pens. There's just, it's a variety of work that is involved as you clip fish and transfer them to facilities. So if you're interested, look them up and see if that's not something you may want to do. Hey, few things happening on April 22nd. Now, I had already mentioned the La Push Lingcod Derby with Mission Outdoors. We'll be out there. Shing and I and Matt and Amanda, we're all going to be out there for the weekend. We're bringing the trailer full of swag. We'll be selling. We're going to have our new kokanee, not just for dinner graphic with the lingcod and halibut graphic on the shirts, on the hoodies, on the sweatshirts, on the shirts. Shing's going to be selling it at our small booth we're setting up in the Roundhouse out there just outside La Push, just outside of Forks there. Come and check out the event. If you're not going to fish the Derby, come out and support the veterans. Sign up, you know, enjoy the dinner, enjoy the awards, get some money out there flowing for the veterans, because that's truly what it's all about. And it helps Mission Outdoors really keep these types of events going for our veterans, because they definitely deserve it. Something else going on, April 22nd, opening day of trout season. Obviously, if you're lowland lake, waiting for your lake to open back up here, like in our backyard, Summit Lake is a lowland lake. Season is from the 4th Saturday of April to October 31st, so we get our 6-month window. Lakes are being stocked all over the state right now, east side, west side. For all those lakes that are going to open, April 22nd. April 22nd. The trout opener, 250, 300,000 people expected. I've looked at the weather forecast multiple times. Once in a while it shows me that it's going to be very favorable, nice weather. Other days it's showing that it's raining, so we take what we can get. Look, if you're thinking about coming out here and fishing Summit Lake, and I would recommend that you do, because the fishing can be pretty darn good. I've talked with Gabe, who oversees the planting of the fish out here in this region. We're getting 10,000 fish the week before the opener. We're also going to get another 10,000 trout the week before the Kids Derby in May. So we'll get 30,000 fish out here total this year at Summit Lake, as we do pretty much every year for the last several years. But aside from that, come on out here, fish Summit Lake, swing by the community center. They have the annual Fisherman's Breakfast, and I think it's $12 or so. Huge plate of food. You get, I mean, they got everything. Pancakes, hash browns, 3 different types of meat, eggs, the whole deal, people serving you. It's all volunteer based. They're out here working all morning, 5 a.m. to noon. Fisherman's Breakfast here at Summit Lake. So it's a bonus, man. Come out here. Great launch facility, fantastic lake to fish, and get breakfast for the family before or after you fish. Also, I want to mention something else going on right here in our backyard, and unfortunately we can't be involved because we'll be out at La Push, but the Youth Outdoors Unlimited Banquet for Youth Outdoors Unlimited is here in Olympia. They tour around to different locations throughout the state throughout the year, generating monies for Youth Outdoors to take, you know, kids and handicapped kids fishing, disabled kids fishing and hunting. So it's all about Youth Outdoors, getting disabled kids into the outdoors and let them live, you know, and give them an opportunity. So Outdoors Unlimited, or Youth Outdoors Unlimited Banquet here in Olympia, excuse me, April 22nd. All the information can be found, www.youthoutdoors.com. U, the letter U, .org. Hold on. www.youthoutdoors, the letter U, .org. Okay, got something in my throat. Can't quite clear it out. Sorry. Anyway, okay. I think that's pretty much the three things I wanted to get through. Okay, before I choke to death, we are going to sign off. Had a great time in here tonight. Want to thank everybody for signing on. Check out those events if you would. Definitely all three of them are worth putting some effort in. Whether you're going to fish out here at the lake, go to La Push, join us at the Lingcod Derby. Check out the Youth Outdoors banquet here in Olympia. And of course, I have time. I will mention those again next week. So again, thank everybody for signing on here tonight. Get out this weekend. Weather looks pretty decent to go get something done. We'll be back here next Thursday. Tommy should be back. He's on the mend and looking forward to it. All right. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. right here.